Welcome to SwamiLee Remembers, Forgotten Phillies from the years 2012 to 2021. Why are we doing this? You know why. Phillies actually clinched the wild card last night. 3-0 win. How about that? Guess I need to apologize for that rant the other day. Yeah, I was a little rough, but watching this team makes you feel that way sometimes. And the Brewers are horrendous, so the Phillies kind of backed into the wild card. But that being said, they're exactly where the Swami said they would be in April. This is a fact. I know a lot of you were saying, "No, you couldn't have done that." Well, I did. And just for that, I'm going to prove it from SwamiLee's Sports Talk, the premiere episode of 2022, with our special guest,
So,
Mike.
gun to your head, Mike, how many wins for the Phillies this year?
I am going to say that this team is going to have 88 wins.
You know, I'd like to argue with you, but if you see one of my previous videos, that was my prediction, 88 wins. And I think 88 wins with a 12-team playoff is going to get them in there.
You heard it here first, folks. The Swami predicted it, as did Mike. Give him some credit. He did predict that also. But the Swami did predict the Phillies would win 88 games, and they're going to win either 87 or 88, and they have made the playoffs. So let's get right on to our list of Phillies who we forgot about that played for this team in the last 10 years. And some of them are tough to remember, like that Koye Hill. Koye had 21 at-bats for the 2014 Phillies. He's our catcher. At first base, we have Logan Morrison. Logan Morrison had 25 at-bats in 2020. Our second baseman is Taylor Featherston. They got him, I think, on waivers from the Angels or something like that, or for nothing. Featherston hit 26 at-bats in 2016, hit 115. So, you know. Then there's Mitch Walding. I'm sure he's probably a great guy. We'd all want to go out to a beer with Mitch Walding. But he couldn't hit Major League pitching. 1 hit in 19 at-bats, 14 strikeouts. You heard me. 14 strikeouts. Played for the Phillies in 18 and 19. Next, we have Neil Walker. Now, Neil Walker, he was a good player for many years. But his career was pretty much over when he got here. And I think he got hurt, and that kind of ruined it from there. So we respect Neil Walker. We wish we had him years before. Who's that? Anybody know who that is? I didn't think so. That's Jordan Danks. Jordan Danks had 4 at-bats here. That's 4 at-bats here, and didn't have a hit. And I can't believe we found a photo of Jordan Danks with the Phillies. I didn't even remember him playing here back in 2015. Now, next is Towson State University alum Casper Wells. Casper Wells from my alma mater. God, I was hoping he would play well here. He didn't. Casper Wells, 1 hit and 24 at-bats in 2013 for an .042 batting average, and that was not his worst. That was not his worst thing he did here. He pitched 1 game for the Phillies and had a 67.50 ERA. Yes, Casper Wells. Sorry, Casper. Next, if you identify this guy, you deserve a medal. That's Jason Pretty. Pridie, not Pretty, Pretty. Jason Pretty with his 10 at-bats in 2012. He did have 3 hits, so he wasn't awful, unlike a lot of these guys. Yeah, I don't remember this guy. Phil Klein. 4 games for the Phillies, 2 starts. I couldn't. If he ran me over with a car, I wouldn't know who he was. But he had an 8.44 ERA, so he belongs on our list, no doubt, with us for the 16 Phillies. Clay Buchholz. Big free agent signing. Clay Buchholz. He's going to be a stud. Clay Buchholz. Yeah. He got hurt after a couple starts. He was 0-2. Missed the season. Went to Arizona the next year. Went 7-2 with an ERA about 2.01. Kind of like Charlie Morton. Couldn't pitch here. Got hurt. Then became a stud when he left. But he only pitched 1 more year. Then he was pretty much done. Then we've got Brad Lincoln. Got him in the trade for Eric Kratz and a minor leaguer. Brad Lincoln, he lasted all of 2 games with an 11.57 ERA, and he was gone. Hey. Who? Tyson Brummett? 1 game. 2012. His 3.00 sounds pretty good until you find out it's a whip, not an ERA. One game. Kind of reminds you of that Tom Newell back in 1985. Pitched one game for the Phillies, had a 36.00 ERA. Last but not least, actually, we have two more. I keep forgetting. I forget that Philippe Almont. I try to forget about him. He was part of that horrendous trade for Cliff Lee. You may remember that Ruben Amaro couldn't have Cliff Lee and Roy Halladay on the same team for more than a day. So instead of shopping Cliff Lee, he took the first offer he could find, and it was for a couple pieces of chewing gum and a bottle of Pepsi and a few used tissues. Otherwise, it was Philippe Almont. It was C.J. Ramirez. And again, I can't remember the outfielder. He was not very good either. Almont ended up pitching 43 innings for the Phillies over 4 years. 1-8, 6.80. Terrible trade. Terrible pitcher. Let's move on. Now, last but not least, Patrick Schuster. Who? Patrick Schuster pitched in 6 games for the Phillies in 2016. In 2 innings, he allowed 10 runs for a 45.00 ERA. These are guys that really make you remember the ineptitude of the Phillies over the past 10 years. It is certainly something we don't like to think about. Here's your list one more time if you want to just admire that team. Imagine that being your team. Well, those are the best examples of why the Phillies did not make the postseason in the last 10 years. But on the better part, congratulations. Let's hope we get at least a win, maybe 2 wins, maybe win a series. Anything is possible. We got some good pitching. I mean, Nola, Wheeler, and whoever number 3 ends up being, be it Ranger or whoever it could be, it could happen. So thank you for tuning in for SwamiLee's Remembers the Forgotten Phillies of 2012 to 2021, the lean years. Hope you enjoyed this video, and have a great day, and good luck to the Phillies.